So, hi guys, it's Precious Bria. So, I'm coming to you with a show review. Martha's, I don't know why I keep saying Martha's Summer House, Martha's Vineyard. And honestly, I like the show. I like the concept. I watched the last two episodes or two seasons, excuse me, of the regular Summer House. And obviously, if you know anything about the Martha Vineyard version is more geared towards, well, it's geared towards Black people. Throughout the show, they give a little bit of history, which is something that I really like, telling me things that I didn't know before. So that's really cool. And then they have people that everybody kind of like knows each other. On these shows, well, on the other show, it seemed like everybody is doing really well for themselves. They're all about mid to some are early 20s, but mid to late 20s, maybe early 30s. So really in their career or whatever they decided to do, and they're able to take care of themselves. So I think that's really cool. I'm kind of getting the same vibe from this other show. I know that from the top of my head that Phil was an entrepreneur. I know that oh, this is so bad. I can't think of his name, but I know there's one lawyer. I know there's one Silas. He's something in finance. So it seems like everybody has like pretty legit careers. A few of the girls were screenwriters. I know that that's kind of like up and down. That's like acting or, a music, a striving artist or whatever. But great platform. Love the concept. Just wanted to say that. So just to jump right in. So this is going to be a quick summary of the episodes 1 through 4. And then after this, I'm going to try to consistently post every week until the end of the show. Because I have so many opinions about this. And I feel like I don't know where else to share them. So YouTube, you're going to get it. And hopefully people feel the same way. If you disagree, comment below. If you agree, comment below. Give it a thumbs up. Tell me what you think, the questions that might have popped up into your head or whatever. The first episode, the only person that was really like to me was it was two people. It was Bria. I don't like her. I want to say that now, a disclaimer. Not that I don't like her. It's just something about Bria that just gets on my nerves. And I feel like consistently in every episode, she's arguing with somebody. Nobody pointed that out. It's just like always the issue with her, and nobody pointed that out. But I'm going to point it out today. It's always a problem with her. She brought her dog, and she didn't tell Jasmine or Silas, who is organizing this entire trip, that she was going to bring the dog. Now, in my opinion, that's very inconsiderate and rude. And that would really, really, really irritate me, because I just feel like we're coming here on a trip. On a trip, I really don't want to travel with anybody that has a dog. Like, I get that it's more of like an Airbnb type of vibe, but didn't like it. And then even if you did, if that was she said ASA, I don't know, her emotional support dog, you still like, I just feel like common courtesy is, let me just tell them that I'm bringing the dog. You don't know if somebody was allergic to the dog. Her relationship is her business, but my thing is, you want everybody to respect your relationship. I mean, to some degree, I get it. To another degree, like, y'all live all the way on the other side of the world. And I am just not a strong advocate for long distance relationships. I don't want to, overstep my boundaries. Like, if you and your boo live across the world and y'all make it work, cool. But it's just, to me, like, how serious could y'all possibly be? He lives 13 hours away on a plane. Like, I don't know, whatever. But I do agree that Jasmine she overstepped her boundaries. I want to say that. I feel how I feel about long distance relationships. Although Jasmine, she says she's in a relationship, like, leave her alone. And another thing that I want to point out, it's almost as if Jasmine and Silas are like creating this environment that they just are matchmakers. Are y'all matchmakers, or are you on a vacation with your friends? If people naturally get together and create relationships, then fine. I don't know if they're looking for like couple friends or whatever the case may be, or say that they hooked somebody up or it happened on their accord. People like stuff like that. Stop it. Stop. You are not a matchmaker. Calm down. Both of them did it a lot, and I did not like that. And then just to get into I don't remember all of the characters. I'm bad with names. So I know we spoke about Jasmine. We spoke about Bria. Let's speak about Silas really quickly. So immediately, Silas to me came off as a little bit controlling. And I guess his demeanor, he has a military background, but I think that's like his personality. You know, that stiffness that's like, I guess he tried to be open and you can see that he's personable. It's not like he's a brick wall, but it's just something about him that's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really a huge Silas fan. I think that Jasmine is a very fun girl at heart and Silas holds her back. But whatever. And then Nick, I thought Nick was cool, not really my type. He's giving a little, a little bougie. I like it though. I like it. Not too much on Nick on the first episode. He was cool. He's very, Nick is thirsty. He wasn't everybody's DMs, but I think he saw beautiful women, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with shooting a shot. Now, where he messed up with me is you trying to talk to all of them and you know that they friends. Like, that's corny. Because honestly, I just feel like if you talk to me, my friend, or me and my friend group is 3 of us, like none of us is really going to talk to you because she's going to be like, oh, look, da, 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 da. And I'm going to be like, look at what he said to me. And she's going to be like, look at what he said to me. And it's going to be like, he's thirsty. You're corny. You're in everybody's face. And for me personally, I don't like my man to be so accessible to everybody. I don't want somebody that everybody could get to, but to each its own. Even though we know that these men in general, they're easy. We know that they're easy in general. So that's why I say not too much on Nick, because that's just how the guys be. Shout out to the men that are not like that. That's, this giving my husband energy. But most of them are very much so easy. And they be in everybody's face. They're all beautiful girls. They all have something going for themselves. They was on like the cover of Playboy. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I know that everybody is like obsessed with Jordan. Jordan is a beautiful girl. I can see why they would like her. I like that she's stern and she knows what she wants and she says her opinion. Jordan is low-key my girl. I just don't like how all of the guys are like gushing over Jordan as if there's no other beautiful women. Like Mariah was gorgeous and nobody even gave Mariah like a second thought. And I don't know if it's maybe just because of her baby, because I know, it don't seem like anybody else had kids. She's the only ones that really spoke about her kids, but they really did not pay attention to Mariah. And I'm like, she's beautiful. And then we know Bria was in a relationship. We know Jasmine was in a relationship. We know Jordan. They all love Jordan. And then they didn't think twice about poor Mariah. Nick was so thirsty that Jordan had to restrict his messages. That's my last note on the last episode. I mean, on the first episode, because it's just like, what? So the next episode, they're at the table, they're eating dinner. Jasmine had gave this little spiel about Black excellence. Now, Preston, that's my boo. I like Preston. I like his energy. I like that he pops up and he gives a little opinion, but he steps back when he needs to. I like Preston a lot. Preston is the one that's a lawyer. That's what I was talking about. And so Preston was the one that was basically like, I really don't like the idea of Black excellence, because when we speak of Black excellence, we're almost talking about what white people expect to be excellent, instead of just us surviving and not surviving, but thriving out of a situation that wasn't the best. And I love that, right? Because the truth is, the standards that society, aka white people, have made, it's not that it's unrealistic, because a lot of Black people do attain it, but they definitely have everything set up to where we lose. You know that systematic racism is set up to where we lose. So when you're giving lemons and you able to make some fire lemonade, which is what Black people do all the time, we see it all the time. We see that Black women are the most educated. We see that we have the most Black millionaires at this point in time. We see that we have so many more Black businesses that are thriving, and just like so many more people are being educated about just different types of investments. So just stuff like that. That is us making lemonade out of lemons, and I love that for us. We don't have to value ourselves based off of what they think, because in reality, they want to be us anyway. To each its own. I agree with what both of them said, but I understood Preston and I felt him on that. And I love that he said that because he spoke about the struggle of his mom. And, you know, despite what she went through, look at her son. Her son is on a national television show. Aside from that, throw that away. He's a lawyer. I'm sure doing well for himself. So, yes, shout out to Preston's mom and all the other Black moms that did what they had to do and they have successful children and they made stuff happen, period. So I like that Alex is like namaste and he's cool and he's calm. He's cute, he's handsome. A little bit too like cool for school type of vibe and like, come on now, you're there with friends, have a good time. It don't always have to be that, but not too much. Not too much on Alex. I like Alex actually. But he does give like a really cool, too cool for school vibe. But most of the time, very chill. Also, started singing and was like, yeah, my cousin is a famous singer. His cousin is John Legend. Babe, that is not what you say when your cousin is John Legend. You say, my cousin is John Legend, period. Okay? Because John Legend could sing down. So, yeah. So, my next note is I just don't understand why Bria was able to stay after all of these commotions. By this time, Bria had the argument with Jasmine about the hair being everywhere, right? And she got very rowdy. I felt like she just got very defensive for no reason immediately. By that time, she had the argument with Mariah. And I want to be very clear. Even though I do not like Bria, I do like Mariah. It was not, I don't think that you putting your hands on somebody was okay. I don't really think that it should have escalated. I don't know if Bria got real turned up after or before the hit. Either way, like you, come on now, we're adults. You don't have to put your hands on nobody. That's ridiculous. And I don't think that she meant to be like, well, she did it. You're a grown woman. Like, control yourself, period. I still like you, Mariah, though. But not okay. We don't hit people. You act like an adult. What was I going to say? I was thinking maybe they needed Bria. They needed Bria to bring a little bit more controversy because the truth is, without Bria, there wasn't really much tension in the house. Now, I am thinking about it from a perspective of watching the other Summer House. They fight and they argue just like any other reality television show. So this is the basis of it. You get a bunch of people together. I mean, they are drunk basically the entire day. You have a bunch of different personalities. Everybody's staying in one space. Sometimes they have to share bathrooms, whatever. So it happens. Like conflict happens. So I'm thinking that, and without Bria there, honestly, everybody gets along so well, and the other personalities are a lot more chill, and so you wouldn't really see that conflict. So I'm thinking that's why Bria might have stayed for that long, but she just, for me, she doesn't really come off likable. I don't know what other people are saying about it, but for me, again, she doesn't really come off likable in my opinion. And the next thing that I want to talk about is the transition of marriage. So we know that Jasmine is struggling to manage her relationship and then not manage her relationship, but balance her relationship and her friendships. Now, I actually just had this conversation, but I think it is very important that you make your friends feel important even if you're in a relationship. Because the truth is, your friends were there before you had that relationship, and 9 times out of 10, they'll be there after. Like, especially in this day and time, relationships don't last like that. So you should definitely prioritize your friendships. And I feel like a lot of the times we see women lack in that area, and men do not do that. Like, they still hang out with their friends, they go wild, they do not care. Like, they still have their friends. And then you see a woman and she loses herself. She loses herself because they get into a relationship and her world revolves around this man. And then God forbid if she has, and then if she has kids. And then if she has kids, then her life revolves around the kids. And then you notice they go to school and it's like, oh, I don't know myself. Why? Because your world has literally revolved around everybody else's happiness, and you didn't even make time to call your friend up to go and get brunch, to go and get a lunch, or whatever the case may be. Now, what did I say in the beginning? Silas was giving me controlling vibes. Very much so. It seems like Jasmine is this big personality who likes to go out and likes to have fun. And I'm not saying that she's like a super party girl. I don't know, but it's definitely giving that she's changing herself a lot to be in this relationship. There's nothing wrong with you growing and evolving. I grow and I evolve every single day. I am not the same person that I was a year ago. I am not the same person I was 6 months ago, not even 3 months ago. I'm constantly growing and evolving, so I get that. But I just think it's crazy that you get into a relationship and your friends are almost saying that they don't even recognize you at this point because you turn into this entirely different person. That is not good. And that was, a few years from now, they just got married. So a few years from now, I mean, what is that going to look like? Are your friends going to be able to put up with this? Because he has an attitude. You can't even go out and stay out till 3 o'clock in the morning because a homeboy gave you a curfew. I don't like stuff like that. I think let people be free. I think let people do what they want to do. If somebody wants to do, if somebody wants to do them, let them do them. They'll respect the relationship if they're the type of person that respects the relationship. If somebody wants to do something disrespectful, it doesn't matter how many restrictions you try to give them, they gonna do them. I promise you that. So it's like that extra effort of trying to control somebody and put these rules in place. I think it's just like crazy. Now the drink thing wasn't then, so I won't talk about that. But yeah, that was like crazy to me. Like the little stuff that he be doing is crazy. And she giving a little wow back in her day. And then they met during the pandemic. Another thing to keep in mind is during the pandemic, nobody was like truly themselves. We were going through a time that was like really scary and everybody handled it in different ways. Whether that was you shutting down, whether that was you like trying to turn up as much as you can in your house or whatever. But the truth is, especially in most states, not states like Georgia, Atlanta, certain states they was living their life, but most states, they were shut down completely. Like you were stuck in the house. They said that they were in New York. In New York, we were shut down. Okay, it wasn't no going out. You went to the store to get essentials, and you was back inside. Yeah, some people might have been outside, especially where I live, been outside a little bit, but yeah, you was in the house for real, for like months. And so even for me, I'll use myself as an example. Like that's definitely made me. I've always been an introvert, like to myself, alone, or whatever the case may be. But it's definitely made me take even more steps back, like into my shell. And I'm trying to even push through with that now. And it's been, essentially 3 years since the pandemic. So people are still trying to, transition back into their lives. So you don't know your wife for real. Y'all started dating at the height of the pandemic. That's not her. That's pandemic her, babe. That is pandemic her. Why is the dog at the bowling alley? And I know what y'all gonna say. It's her emotional support dog. It ain't that much damn emotional support in the world. Why is the dog at the bowling alley? Is it that deep? Like, come on now. That was too much for me. The dog was just everywhere, and I just, I just thought it was too much. I also thought that the conversation that Bria had with Jasmine and Silas at the bowling alley while they were like super drunk, is a lot going on. I do not think that was the place nor the time for her to be having that conversation. I want to say that first. Number two, why would you think that it's okay for you during this experience for him to come and stay with you for a week? I thought that was absurd too. You have these people that came here, they strategically put people together. You already done disrupted the vibe of everything because you because you have a dog. I feel like everybody handled that well because maybe Mariah struggled and Jasmine struggled, but I would have struggled too because I would have been like, why is there a dog here? I just don't understand. But they ate that. They said it. They did their best. It was complaints here and there, whatever the case may be. Oh, wait. Let's talk about the towel washing machine gate. So, I told y'all how I feel about dogs, and I would not like for my towels or whatever the case may be to be mixed in with some dog stuff. I don't care if you washed it. I just feel like that's not, you don't mix I don't even mix my bed sheets with like my outside clothes. So I just think when I'm watching this, I just feel like that was like rightfully so. She said something. I was also I was also disappointed. We're going whatever. I'm mixing it up, but I was also disappointed in Amir because I feel like Amir say something in that moment. He should have been like, "Guys, it was my fault. I'm sorry. It was a mistake." Had he said that, it would have de-escalated it. But because he went around that, it just got like again, Mariah. I just want to be very clear that I am not advocating that her hitting somebody like is okay. But I just feel like Amir definitely should have interjected and said something. That's a cop out. Oh, it's not going to calm anything down. No, say something. Be like, I'm sorry, it was a mistake. You just didn't want to look crazy. Pay attention. Because for me, I would not like that. And I would have said something. And I would have been like, Amir, if it was a mistake, you should have just said that. It is what it is. Because in that moment, I mean, Bria didn't deserve that smoke for real. And again, Mariah, I don't like the way she handled it. But yes, I would have been upset about the towel. I don't care. I'm not saying I would have hit her because that's ridiculous, but I definitely would have been upset about the towel. The towels and the dog stuff and being mixed together, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I understood why they did they sent Mariah home because I think that just sets the tone that like nobody should be fighting. I don't recall anybody physically fighting on Summer House, but I think they've almost fought before. So, I guess it's just it's a reality TV show, whatever. So Shanice. I think that Shanice is a cute girl. I don't know exactly what she does. I think she does something like finance. Maybe I got this specific impression of her because everybody was so drunk the whole time and it's supposed to be like a turn up type of vibe, but Shanice gave me airhead. Like there was nothing going on up there. It just gave me strong airhead. She could be very smart. She could have went to an Ivy League college. I'm just telling you what I seen on the TV. There was a lot of times where she was just very lost. She couldn't comprehend. She didn't understand why Bria was upset with her because she wasn't there in that moment. She made it very clear that she did not care. She did not want to be involved. And I just think, why act like you don't know that that's your friend and you could have just stood there? She didn't even need you, you could have, or not just stood there, pull her away. Be like, all right, that's what I would have did, pull her away. You don't gotta, y'all on TV, you don't want to embarrass yourself. I guess you don't want to associate yourself with that, but I ain't like that. And then moving on to Phil. So Phil was just a big, fat mess. He walked in, and when he originally walked in, I said, okay, Phil's going to be a good time. He's going to turn up. He's going to make the house a little bit lit. They a little bit lax right now. It's about to be lit. I'm like, okay. He told what's the name to take a shot. He was being a little bit pushy. I was like, okay, I'm here with you. You let Marlo out of the room and y'all running around the house. Okay, I'm here with you. We on the same page. You go, you find the room, and you just take it upon yourself to say, oh, I'm going to take a number 2 in this man's bathroom. I'm not going to flush the toilet. That was disgusting. Have a conversation with him. At least address it with Bria and then just find somewhere else to sleep. It was not that serious. It really was not that serious. He messed up a great opportunity just to have a good time, to make some money. He probably still got paid. I don't know. But to have a good time, to maybe promote your brands or whatever you do. They said that he's an entrepreneur. They go to the party. I mean, to the club with the old people. They taking shots, whatever. He was having a good time. There wasn't any issues. They get back to the house. And Phil just act like he want to fight everybody. He asked him politely. Nick came up to him. Nick asked him politely, can you please go in there and could you please flush the toilet? Come on now. We better than that. It's not that deep. Oh, it was my room. Like this is the Bad Girls Club or something. That's what it's giving. This is my room. Like this is not the Bad Girls Club. Calm down. He did not. And then when he started insulting everybody, I love that Amir stood up for himself. So sidebar. They're arguing, and obviously Amir is a lot shorter. Jordan is probably, I don't know, from what it seemed like, he could have been like maybe 6'2" to 6'5", I don't know. But he seems like skinny, tall, whatever. And Amir just looking up to him, but Amir is brolic, and I'm glad that he stood his ground and he said what it was, and that the producers came and stopped it. I appreciated that. I'm saying that because I didn't know Amir was 5'7". Baby he's tiny. So Phil starts insulting everybody. Amir stands his ground. They pull him apart. Basically, Phil is like on timeout. Phil is still being very condescending. And I was just like, why are you doing that? She came over trying to be nice. I don't know what he said to trigger her and why she turned up so much. But what I will say is that he was being very condescending. He was being very sarcastic. And it was just like, calm down. Like, take a chill pill, Phil. Calm down. It's not that deep. I don't know where the energy from Phil came from. I don't know why he came with this energy of the aggressiveness. I hate a man that feels like he has to be the loudest person in the room, and that's what Phil was given. He has to be the center of attention. He has to prove his manliness. Oh, I'm a man. I'm so macho. I'm so macho. It's like, babe, it's not that deep. And I promise you that if you're that guy, that we're gonna know that you're that guy, and it's gonna exude. You're gonna exude that energy. You know what I mean? Let's talk about Shanice coming out of the bathroom with no shirt on while Amir was in the room. And I think Preston was there too. I was just like, I don't understand. Like, aren't you said that Nick was the person that you were into. Why would you come out with no shirt on? That was it's just some titties, right? But at the same time, you know how guys are. Now, thankfully, Amir was smart enough to know that, because, you know, some guys would have tried it and leaned into it and whatever the case may be. Maybe not in that moment, but later, whatever. We don't know what's going to happen, but as of right now, I feel like he handled it well. But I just thought, like, why did you do that? Like, what was the point of that? Shanice is also a person who gives, like, I want to be center of attention, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. Again, it's just, she's something else. She's a little annoying. She's not that annoying because she only popped in. So I feel like if she was like there the whole time, I would be like, ugh, like, get her out of here, because she's just like, ugh. So we know that Shanice, Alex heard something about Shanice, right? He didn't want to say at first. So now he's feeling some type of way, whatever. He's like, I don't want nothing to do with her. Like, she needs to stay away from me. He's talking about personal space. I'm like, she touched your hand once. You don't have to act like she was all up on you. If you wanted to stay away from her, you could simply just stay away from her. And she would get the vibe, but whatever the case may be. I don't think some people feel like everything deserves a conversation, blah, blah, blah. I am a ghoster, and I believe in ghosting. If I call you and you don't answer, like, you would just never hear from me again. Like, it's not that deep. We're not married. We don't have to go through this whole weird process. I think that the whole, what do they, closure shit is a scam. Like, people just, no. Right? So I'm all for keep your distance, and that's all it has to be. You made it bigger than what it was, in my opinion. And then it comes out that he was sent an article about Shanice, basically saying that Shanice is a stalker. That she was outside of her ex-boyfriend's house, or whatever they said. She did a bunch of stalkerish stuff. She was calling him, whatever. She actually admitted, he tried to get a restraining order. She allegedly said the restraining order didn't work out because he didn't have no real evidence. I don't know. This is what she's saying. She also did admit that he in fact did blow up his phone. Like, she called his phone a bunch of times. Which is a form of stalking. If you did not know, you should not be blowing up somebody's phone like that. If they're not answering, obviously they don't want to talk to you. But yeah, she did admit that. And I just think all he had to do was stay away. Simple as that. Y'all not married. Y'all not in a relationship. Y'all only met each other like 4 days ago. If even. It's not that deep. Not even 4 days ago, because Shanice came in late. So y'all met each other like 2 days ago. It's not that serious. Nick. Now, explain to me how a man that's in everybody's faces and in everybody's DM, and you heart eyes and pictures, and you the fire emojis, pictures, and sending kissy faces. You talking about you going to marry Shanice, all this nonsense. And now you want to come out third third episode talking about, yeah, I got a girlfriend. We've been together for a year and a half, but we knew each other for like 10 years. What? Now, at first, I was like, he don't got no girlfriend. He's embarrassed that he don't want none of them no more, or they don't want him. They not giving him the energy that he thought that they was gonna give. And now he's like, this is his cop out to be like, well, I didn't really want y'all anyway because I had a girlfriend the whole time. It felt so good to say. Like, no, you just saying that. Then I was like, well, maybe he is. It just doesn't make sense because you know that this is gonna air. You know that she's gonna see this. I was like, well, maybe they're not that serious. I just think honestly, he didn't get the energy that he wanted from them. Now that I'm rethinking about it, he didn't get the energy he wanted from them, and so he's like, I got a girlfriend. I don't really want none of y'all anyway. I'm not really super interested. And we all know that guy that in your face, he quiet, he don't got nothing to say. But the minute y'all on Instagram, he want to DM you, DM you, DM you. He got all of this stuff to say. You so hot now. You got all the confidence in the world now, but in person, you didn't say nothing. So that's what it was giving. That's what it was giving. And I want you to know that them posting all of those pictures of that girl is embarrassing. I feel bad for her. Embarrassing. And the reason why I'm saying that that's embarrassing because he done sat up there and literally told Shanice, we seen the message, I want to marry you. Something like that. Something about marriage. Telling Jasmine something about marriage. And all of a sudden you got a girlfriend. Like, that's just, why embarrass somebody like that? Like, that's crazy. And I know someone got to come out about that because that just does not make sense to me. Like, that's crazy. Nick decided to have a conversation with Silo and just let him know, like, Jasmine is a strong woman. Like, she could take care of herself. You don't have to be so protective. I think that was his nice way of saying, you're controlling. You need to take a step back. Yes, you act like y'all have to be tied at the hip. They're very much so codependent. And I think that that's like initiated by him. And I'm sure that she likes it to some extent. And she wants to feel like, yeah, I'm protected by my man and blah, blah, blah. And it's cute to feel protected, but it's a thin line between, you know, I don't want to say protected and controlling, but I mean, at this point, I personally feel like he's controlling. From what they showing on the TV, he's controlling. But I thought that conversation was beneficial. I knew that Silas was not going to listen because Silas gives me very much so strong-headed. He thinks that he has all of the answers. He has everything figured out. And so he's not really going to listen to nobody. Maybe like an older person that's like really old. But he's not going to definitely listen to nobody else like near his age or nothing. So it was a waste of his breath. But I thought it was, you know, a nice effort is the point. And I'm so happy to go back to the Nick thing that they actually put Nick in the hot seat. And I'm happy that they put Nick in the hot seat because I just feel like you came into this house and you were lying about your intentions. And he was in the beginning trying to say, what do I mean lying about your intentions? You was coming there and you was going to try and hook up with as many people as you can or whatever the case may be. And now you're going to try and rebrand yourself as this wholesome, I have a girlfriend, blah, 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 blah type of guy. Hated it. But I'm glad that they did that. So just kind of wrapping things up of episode 4. At the end of episode 4, Bria and Silas has this conversation, the same conversation that they've been having since like the 3rd episode about how her boyfriend is coming to stay for a week, which I do not agree with. They clearly showed Amir feeling uncomfortable with that because he just feels like the housemates, we have some housemates that didn't even get to stay that long. Why does this man get to stay this long? Thinking that it would be like 3 or 4 days, and it didn't turn out to be that. And Bria tried to turn it towards race, to make it a race thing. And the reason why I think that she tried to make it a race thing was to back Silas into this corner so that her boyfriend has to come on television. And I mean, to the house. And I did not like that. I thought that was very manipulative, just like he said. Silas is controlling, but that has nothing to do with the fact that she was being very manipulative. And she planted that seed of race in the beginning, and she doubled down at the end. And I just thought that was crazy. And again, this is the we're on episode 4, and this is Bria's 4th argument with somebody. And again, nobody is seeing an issue with it at all. And I just don't understand. And I think that for her to bring up the fact that Silas said this because of race is disgusting. I don't think that Silas is racist. I don't know him well, but I don't think that Silas is racist. She tried to point out the fact that he said that, and they showed the clip, and this is what I remember verbatim. I'll actually install the clip, because I'm not a huge fan of Silas, but that's not nice. You don't call somebody, you don't say something like that. Not that black people could even technically be racist, but you know what I mean. Still, not okay. He said, I want black women to be married, period. I would prefer for them to be married to a black man. And I agree. Other races say all the time. Jews say you need to marry Jews. You find you a rich white person, you don't gotta be rich and white. A white person, they'll say you need to marry Chinese, want their kids to marry other Chinese people. Indian want their kids to marry Indian people. Their people say you need to marry inside of your race. Every other race can say it, but when a black person says it, it's an issue. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I agree. I do want black women to be married, including myself. Where's my husband? I don't know. I also think that black women should marry black men. Period. Other races literally say it all the time, and there's no issue. There's no issue whatsoever. Ending this summary, Bria is the problem. I don't care what nobody says. Bria is the problem. The conclusion is Bria is the problem. Nick is a liar. Jasmine and Silas are very codependent. Amar is cute. He should have said something though about the whole thing. Poor Mariah got kicked off the show with Phil. That's so messed up, but it is what it is, Mariah. You need to learn to keep your hands to yourself. That's not okay. And who else did I forget? And Alex was cute. I don't got nothing to say about Alex. Then they introduced 2 more people. Summer, they didn't really say too much. I thought that, what's the other guy's name? Let me see. Because I thought he was really, really funny. He said something to Bria. What did he say to Bria? Jason. I think Jason is probably the cutest to me. Jason is very cute. And he was like, Bria came in and she tried to season the broccoli. She said, we know who your boyfriend is. And I know that hurt her feelings. I thought it was hilarious though. I thought it was so funny. I don't think he meant it with any malice. I think that he was just saying a little joke. And she did overdo it. Larry's is very salty. You shouldn't be putting all that Larry's on everything. I don't use Larry's personally. I know that's like a black thing. I don't use Larry's. Larry's is very salty. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm definitely looking forward to finishing up the season and getting up to the season finale and seeing if they even continue on with another season. If you guys have any questions or anything that you thought while you were watching the episode, or just let me know how you feel about everything down below, whether you agree, you disagree, whatever, we can chat it up. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Follow me on all social media platforms. And I hope to see you guys in another video.